welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome back to another TBR Tarot video. Another month has flown by and we are practically halfway through the year. Don't ask me how it's happening. I don't know, but somehow we're just flying through every single freaking month. And we are back again for another TBR video. I love filming these videos every single month and I'm excited to share another one with you guys this month. As always, if you guys have never seen a TBR tarot video from me before, what I do is I use the Fairy Loot tarot cards to pick books off my TBR based off of the assigned prompt for each tarot card. If I pull a duplicate prompt from the month prior, then I need to add an extra roll. I have punishments and rewards depending on how I do throughout my reading for the month. And I do some spinner wheels at the beginning of every month just to help me hit some goals for the year. I always leave a playlist down below of other creators that do a TBR tarot. It's not my idea. I was not the first person to do it, so I always like to pay credit where credit is due. So before we jump into the month of June, let's go ahead and talk about how I did in the month of May, whether I'm going to take a punishment or reward. We'll go over my spinner wheels from last month, and then we'll get into the picks for this month. So for the Two of Moons, this was no Ryan pick, but I used my reward from last month to do a mood read, and I chose Shut Out by Avery Keelan, and I did read this. For the Lovers, I was supposed to read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and I did read this. For the Hermit, I was supposed to read Twisted Games by Anna Huang, and I did read this. For the Six of Moons, one of you lovely people chose for me to read The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi, and I did read this. For the Seven of Moons, I was supposed to read Wild Love by Elsie Silver, and I did read this. For the High Priestess, I chose Twisted Love by Anna Huang, and I did read this. For the Eight of Moons, I was supposed to read Always Only You by Chloe Leese, and I did read this. For Death, I was supposed to read Ivan by Sophie Lark, and I did read that. And finally, for the Six of Pentacles, I chose to read For the Fans by Nella Kay, and I did read this. That means we have yet again done another month where I get to get a reward instead of a punishment, which is great. I finished all the books on my TBR, and honestly, I had a great time with this TBR. Let's quickly talk about my spinner wheels from last month. This one was not as good. For my series continuation, I was supposed to read Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin, and I did read this. For my special edition, I was supposed to read The Dragon's Promise. I did not get to this one, unfortunately. Same thing goes for my Stuff Your Kindle Day read. I was supposed to read Dawn of the Darkest Day, I think is what it's called, and I did not get to that. Let's cross our fingers that I'm better at my spinner wheels for this month, but we shall see. Speaking of spinner wheels, before we get into everything else, let's go ahead and talk about those very quickly, and then we will get into my pulls for June. For my Stuff Your Kindle Day spinner wheel, these ones always are just a crapshoot because I never know what I'm gonna get, but I did get Bloodthirsty. I can't remember the author of this one. It does look very interesting. The cover is definitely eye-catching. I'm pretty sure it's a Why Choose, which personally for me, I always love something along those lines, so I'm not complaining. This one also actually has an audiobook, so I will gladly get through this one with the audio and the Kindle because my goal is to get that number down, but it doesn't mean I can't cheat a little bit and use the audiobook, and I will. Then for my special edition for this month, I got one that I wasn't super excited for, but I'm going to try to read it anyways, and that is A Sunny and Drowning by Ava Reid. I've heard mixed reviews about this book, so I haven't been super inclined to pick it up, but I do own 2 special edition copies of this, so I definitely need extra motivation to get it off my shelves and see whether or not I need to keep 1 or 2 copies of this book. And then finally, for my series continuation wheel this round, I got another one that I didn't really want, but that is Orange Collection 2 by Ichika Takano. These are like omnibus versions of the manga series. I don't know how many volumes are in this one, but it is the last collection in order to finish up the series. So it's great because I'm finishing a series, but it's chunky and I don't read manga very often, so it'll be interesting to say the least. Okay, those are my spinner wheels for the month of June, so without further ado, let's jump into my reward for this month. Alrighty friends, let's pick our reward for the month. Let's take a look. Watch a movie. Interesting. Okay, as you guys saw, my reward was to watch a movie, which is great. I don't ever really spend time watching movies or TV for that matter. The only thing I watch on a regular basis is The Challenge with my husband, and I don't really ever watch movies. So I think I have a few movies that I have had on my list for a little while, just haven't watched, so I might give myself a little treat and watch one of those. I'm thinking either the new Mean Girls, just because I feel like I have to know if it's good. I don't think it is, but I have to know. Also, another one that's probably not good, but I definitely want to watch it is the new Fast and the Furious movie. The last one was god-awful terrible, but do I keep wanting to watch them? Yes. Will I go to the movie and spend money to watch them? Absolutely not. Okay, now all of that out of the way, let's pull our first tarot card for the month of June. All right, the deck is shuffled. Let's pull our first card. The Knight of Moons. Pull number 1, I got us the Knight of Moons, and this is to do an Instagram scroll. Again, this is always kind of scary because I never know if it's going to turn out the way that I want it to. In this particular case, it was fantastic. I usually always go into like the Bookstagram tag because sometimes my feed doesn't show book covers, and I want it to be something that I own and want to read, and my pick this month was King of Sloth by Anna Huang. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm literally so excited. Instagram could not have been nicer to me, and I'm not going to complain in the slightest. I've been wanting to read this one since it came out, and I'm a little late. I'm a little behind the trend here, but I definitely want to pick it up. I do not know who this one is about. I just know that if Anna Huang's going to write it, I'm going to read it. On the back, it says, he never wanted anyone enough to chase them until he met her. This is Xavier's story. Oh, that's right. Xavier and Sloane. They were teased in the last one. I don't really know, but I am very excited to read it. Pull number 2. The Five of Moons. Pull number 2 is the Five of Moons, and this is an Isaac pick. Again, this pick is always super scary because sometimes Isaac picks books that are easy, like a graphic novel, or he's picked me books like Les Mis. So I just never know what I'm gonna get with him. So because I was trying to be kind to myself, and my goal for the next month is to finish up series, I gave him a list of things that I was hoping that he would pick from because I just could not be sabotaged by my husband this month. So the options that I gave him were When Villains Rise by Gianna Darling, The Blood and Roses Part 2 by Callie Hart, Dark Dawn by Jay Kristoff. This is a duet, and I've already read the novella, so it would be Dangerous Temptation by Gianna Darling, I believe. Yeah. Holly LaRose, Losers Part 2, Madam by Sarah Kate, the last book in that series, and then Asunder by Sadie Rose. And honestly, there are a lot of chunky books on this list. Tell me why my husband picked the shortest one. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but thank you. Honestly, thank you so much, because I just needed a really easy month this month because I want to do other reading outside of this list, and I'm hoping that with the short books, I should be able to do that. But this is the second and last book in a duology. It's like a post-apocalyptic romance that takes place in like a very dry, desolate setting, with these two kids that end up like meeting because they have to. The girl is destined to save the world, and he's just kind of along for the ride. I don't really know where this is going, but I'm curious enough to pick up the sequel. Pull number 3. Let's pull from the bottom. Temperance. Pull number 3 got us Temperance, and that is a tortured hero romance. And for this, I'm going to pick up A Pessimist's Guide to Love by Jennifer Hartman, the second book in the duology for the Heart Song series. I'm pretty sure it's what it's called. The first one is An Optimist's Guide to Heartbreak, and I read that one, I think, almost 2 years ago now, and I really enjoyed it. I like Jennifer Hartman's writing. It's not my favorite of the books that I read by her, but it still was a standout read. I think I give it like 4 or 4.5 stars at the time, and I'm excited to get around to the sequel. This one is written in the male's perspective, whereas the first book was written from the female's perspective, and it's like, I wouldn't necessarily say second chance, but it's like small town friends to enemies to lovers, I think, and they have a very tortured past when something happened to his sister, which was the heroine's best friend, and it's obviously like kind of ripped them apart, but also ripped his family apart, and it's his story finding love again. So I'm excited for this one. I don't know what I'm gonna think about it. I think I'm probably going to cry, which is right on track for Jennifer Hartman's writing, so wish me luck. Pull number 4. The Tower. Pull number 4 got us The Tower, and this is to read a book with buildings on the cover. And for this, I'm so glad that I was able to slot this in because this is the Swoony Readers Book Club pick for the month of June, and that is Serpentine Valentine by Gianna Darling. I'm excited for this one. We have really been anticipating this, and I'm excited to finally get to it and see if it's as good as everyone says that it is. If you guys don't know anything about the Swoony Readers, we are a romance book club hosted by myself and 3 of my best friends, Karina, Dana, and Niki. I will leave the information down in the description box below if you would like to go check out their channels, their Instagram, as well as the Swoony Readers Instagram to get up-to-date info on all of our book club picks. We're excited for this one. This is a Medusa, dark academia, dark romance retelling situation that I am just so excited for. It's sapphic. It's definitely fitting the vibes for June, and I am personally just so excited for this one. Pull number 5. The 9 of Pentacles. Pull number 5 got us the Nine of Pentacles, and that is to read a book with an illustrated spine. And for this, I'm going to be reading Heartstopper Volume 5. Again, it's June, it's Pride Month. I want to read books that have some type of queer representation, and this definitely fits the bill. This follows Nick and Charlie, two boys falling in love, and I love this series so much. It's been a shame that I have not read Volume 5 just yet, but it's the perfect opportunity to pick it up, and it does have an illustrated spine. I don't know if it'll focus on you and not me. I don't know. But there is some illustration on there. There's like some birds and, maybe not birds, I'm sorry, those are leaves, and an illustration right there at the top. So it definitely works for illustrated spine. I'm excited to get around to the 5th volume, and I will sadly but excitedly anticipate Volume 6. Pull number 6. The Page of Stars. Pull number 6 got us the Page of Stars, and this is to read a book with an even number of pages. And for this, I'm going to be choosing Stars Above by Marissa Meyer. The short stories in the Lunar Chronicle series, we have come to the end of our read-along for the core group of books in the Lunar Chronicle series, and now we're moving on to the short stories and then the graphic novels. I don't know if we're reading the graphic novels this month, but I know for sure we are reading Stars Above, and I'm very excited because this is where I stopped my read of the series the last time that I picked up the series. So I'm excited to finally get around to the short stories, and on Goodreads it does say that this is exactly 400 pages, so it definitely counts for the even number of pages situation, and I'm excited that I was able to slot this in since I needed to read it this month anyways. And I don't really know what this is about, honestly. I don't want to spoil any of the results of the series as a whole, so I'm not going to tell you too much about this. I just know that it's short stories. Pull number 7. The Fool. Our 7th pull was The Fool, and for this it is to read a second chance romance, and I chose The Lost Fisherman by Julie Ann. If you guys have been around for a little while, you know that I have been talking about finishing up this duology for quite some time. Tell me why I haven't just read the book yet. I don't know, it's short, it shouldn't take me too long, I own the audiobook, yet here we are. I'm hoping that this is the month that I will actually do it, and this is a second chance time jump romance. The first book takes place, you know, at the beginning, and I think this is 10 years later, so it definitely falls under the second chance category, about a young naive girl, at least the first book, a young naive girl that was very much raised in a religious household with religious upbringing, and then she ends up moving in with her mom, who is fresh out of jail, and her mom's roommate, his name is Fisherman. I think his name is, either his first name or his last name is Fisherman, and she has her like sexual awakening with this man, which is definitely taboo because there's an age gap there, but it's their relationship 10 years later. So I'm excited to see what I think of book 2 in the series. And pull number 8. Whoa. The Judgment. And finally, we made it to pull number 8 with no repeats from last month, so this is our last pull, The Judgment, and this is to read a Marriage of Convenience story. And for that, I chose Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is the second time that this book has been on a TBR, so I'm really hoping that I can make this work, because I'm tired of having not read this one, because I love Ali Hazelwood's work so much, and I believe her next book is coming out like so soon, so I need to get caught up with her stories because I love her work so much. But this is a vampire werewolf marriage of convenience story. I know it's paranormal. I know there's some type of nodding involved. That's what I've heard. I'm not scared by that at all by any means. I like Omegaverse stuff, so I'm definitely curious to see what I'm going to think of this one. It's her first dipping of her toe into paranormal, so I'm really curious to see how Ali Hazelwood does this book. And this is a special edition from Steamy Lit. It's absolutely gorgeous, so I'm excited to finally pick this one up. Alright, here's my TBR for the month. Definitely a very pretty color palette that we have going on here. Blues and oranges with a little bit of purple. Honestly, I'm liking the vibes. It makes me feel very, I wanted to say summery, but I don't know if this is necessarily giving summer vibes. All that to be said, I am very excited to get around to these books. Hopefully I can read all of them, get another reward for myself next month. That would be great. And love everything that I'm able to read. That being said, those are not the only books that I want to read next month. I have a few other ones that I have in mind for the month of June. The first one being Tin Queen by Devney Perry, the last and final book in the Clifton Forge series. We've been reading this one every single month for the first half of the year, and this is the end of the series. So that'll be great for me to finish up that series. I'm excited for the last and final book. Hopefully I like it as much as some of the other books in the series. I would also like to maybe possibly get around to The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy, the next book in the Campus Diaries series. I would also like to read Funny Story by Emily Henry because it's her newest release and I haven't picked it up yet. But alas, the ones I actually have sitting here that I would still like to get to next month is The North Wind by Alexandria Warwick. We are buddy reading this, me, Dana, and Karina, so it was brought up as one that we wanted to read, so I did pick myself up a copy, and hopefully, what the hell? Hopefully I like it. I also, on a whim, picked up Heavenbreaker Heaven. Oh my god, I can't read. Heaven Breaker, I think is what it is. Oh my god. Why does it look so wrong? Like, I want to say Haven, but I know that's Heaven. I don't know. Anyways, it's late and I'm tired. But I did pick this one up on a whim and I'm currently in the middle of it, but I don't think I'll finish it before the month is over, so I would like to carry this one into June and finish this up. And then I am buddy reading Falling Embers by Catherine Cowles with a friend, so I'm very excited for this one. Hopefully I like this one as much as I enjoyed the first book in the series, and I would like to continue reading more of Catherine Cowles' work because she's just so incredible. So this is book 2 in a romantic suspense small town romance series, so I'm excited for this one. And then if we add the only book that I own from my spinner wheel, that is officially my stack for the month of June. It got big quick. I don't know what happened, but it surely did. Alright friends, that is all the books that I wanted to read in the month of June. I didn't get as many queer books on this list as I would have wanted, but hopefully with my smaller like obligation reads, I might be able to mood read a few more books for Pride Month. But that is my TBR. Let me know if you've read any of the books I talked about today and what you thought of them. I would love to know your thoughts. Let me know what you're reading in the month of June. What's your priority read for this month? And if you made it to the end and you don't know anything else to comment, leave a rainbow emoji for Pride Month. That is the end of this video though. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Thanks, baby. Turn it down.